Morning. It's just before 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I mean, it's nice out, don't get me wrong, it's lovely out, and you know, were I being about to go on holiday, I'd be super excited and still tired. But I'm going to get on a train, and 2.5 hours later I'll be in Northamptonshire. And admittedly there's going to be a Grand Prix, but that's not till tomorrow. Today it's going to be practices and qualifying and what have you, but I've got to come back again this evening. And then I'm going out again tomorrow and coming back again that evening. So it's a little bit crazy. It's about 10 hours of train travel in 2 days. For fun! Who wants to have some fun?
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
Now, don't get me wrong, I mean, Silverstone is the home of British racing. It's an awesome place. You might remember we went a couple of years ago just to do a visit and a, what do you call it? It's like an experience day. We didn't do any driving, obviously, except to get there. But it was great fun. It's just the timing that's the bit of the issue. And the fact that I'm an old man and I need my weekends. But to be perfectly honest, I've just had slightly too many late nights this last week and I haven't really slept properly. So I'm just absolutely dead man walking, as it were. And I can't sleep on moving vehicles, otherwise I'd sleep on the train, although I'd probably wake up in Manchester. So I'm really hoping that tonight I get back in reasonable time and I can just crash out, because I don't have to be back there tomorrow until about 11ish probably. So I don't know, it's wishful thinking. Maybe I should be concentrating less on the sleep and more on the rather awesome Grand Prix that's about to happen. Okay, we are very close. This is Silverstone Village. The traffic is a bit of a nightmare up ahead, so dropped out of the cab. I'm going to walk the last bit. It's very pretty up here. It smells like the countryside, except with the sound of motor racing in the distance. You can hear one of the sport vents going loud. So I made it through, got my pass. It's a little busier than we were here last. What was the paddock? This is where all the motorhomes are. Actually, the Manor one's pretty impressive. Anyway, I need to find the rest of my crew because I don't know where they are.
Oh, it's right in your cheeks, isn't it?
It's got to be.
I'm smiling.
You look aggressive.
Do I?
Yeah. Your head forward like you're nuts.
If I run into a rock, Jesus, it's heavy, isn't it? Bloody hell.
It's 0.8 kilos. No, put it aside out, we'll rip your ears off.
Wow.
Oh, that's all right.
But we will.
We will.
Good morning again. It's not quite so early. I did come back home last night from Silverstone because the hotel prices are completely absurd around the GP, as you might imagine. So I'm now going back. So it takes about 2.5 hours there and back. So I'm going to have done 10 hours travelling, but it's actually very good. I mean, I didn't film a lot yesterday. I was in the commentary box a lot. Which you get a good view of the straight. You can't see the pit lane because it's underneath you. And you obviously saw Lewis doing the press conference afterwards, or doing the media pen. I'll see what I can film today. See where I end up.
It's like a weird apocalyptic feature film. Just see, because there's no people.
Here we are again, going inside. So you can see the wing there in the distance, which is where the pit lane is. And that's where we have to get to. And there's quite a lot of people, as you'd hope on race day. But the traffic wasn't too bad. So I'm going to go and get a VIP bus.
wave of
How far away do you reckon?
fans just follow his car around this track. And as Jack says, he
Great,
does
thank
have
you.
amazing
Thank
support.
you.
But actually, the wonderful
2
thing about
minutes
this
till
crowd
5
is
join us.
so
2
do
minutes now.
all of the drivers. They're very even-handed.
Ian Ferguson says moderately heavy shower imminent.
Thank you.
And it-
Our BBC weatherman says moderate shower imminent. Is that Lewis's car?
It's going to be they're going to do a safety car style, something stupid, aren't they? Or a delayed style.
Lewis's car being wheeled behind you shortly.
Or yeah, I can see it out of the window, and so as the cars make their way around behind the safety car, the race has begun. Yeah, Nico Rosberg under investigation for radio messages. He ran into some problems with his gearbox. The team told him how to fix it, and under the new rules, you're not allowed to do that. So who will finish second is up and questionable, but who will finish first looks to be beyond doubt. Lewis Hamilton comes down now towards the left-hander at the Vale. The crowd in the grandstands are on their feet. As for the third year in a row, Lewis Hamilton comes out of the final corner to win the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. He's on the podium. Hamilton, the winner of the British Grand Prix. Once again, he moves himself into championship contention. Exactly how close that contention will be remains to be seen as Nico Rosberg under investigation.
So the paddock's all packing up. I just was down there, which is where the Force India garage is. I spent a little bit of time in there. We interviewed BJ and Otmar from Force India. And now I'm going to see if I can get on the circuit, and if not, I'm going to see if I can get back to the shuttle bus. It's Park Ferme, all the cars. And there's people cycling around the circuit, which is great fun. As you can see, people are still walking around the track. It's one way to get out. And a lot of people bought bikes, so they're actually cycling. It's about just under 6 kilometres, so it's not too bad. There's a military helicopter, obviously. Interesting side note. So this circuit is an enormous piece of ground. It's actually in 2 counties, both Buckinghamshire and Northamptonshire. So I'm now crossed over into Buckinghamshire. But I've got to get back to Milton Keynes the 4th time in 2 days, so I can go home. It's a surprisingly easy journey. I mean, it's not the quickest in the world, granted, but it's reasonably painless. I say that with an enormous caveat attached. I'm now about to try and get out of Silverstone at the same time as everybody else. This might not be so smooth.
Summary.
The squareness of Milton Keynes. So I'm back up in Camden. I was here yesterday as well, doing 3 days this week, including Friday. And as you can see, summer is clearly back. It's been raining and it's quite cold, so that's good. But in 2 weeks I leave the country, so it doesn't really matter. Whether I ever come back, that's a matter to be decided. We will have a new Prime Minister in a week, one that has been chosen simply by the MPs of the same party, not even by members of that party or the electorate as a whole. So, if the new Prime Minister, Theresa May, decides not to keep large parts of the manifesto they were elected on, or change them, then you could reasonably argue they don't actually have a mandate for government. However, I'm sure they won't see it that way. So that'll be fun. Now, if you point out, like I often do, that you don't actually elect the Prime Minister in this country, you just elect a local MP and they choose amongst themselves, the majority, who the Prime Minister is, then that's fair enough. But you do elect a manifesto. You choose to vote for a party because of a set of decisions they say they'll make. So if those decisions change, then it doesn't really matter if you have the same leader or not. Party really no longer has a mandate. Now, the British public is currently so confused that it's very hard to say whether a general election is actually a good idea at this point. They elected a hugely pro-European parliament and then told them they wanted to leave Europe. So another general election probably won't help matters, will it? That said, it's very hard to see how the current formation of parliament can really, truly claim to be the representation of democracy. But as I always say, the problem is not the people, the problem is the voting system. So we need to change that first and foremost, and then we might have something that more closely represents the views of the people. Can't see that happening, but there we go. I'm always hopeful, but not right now. Anyway, that's why I'm going to Switzerland. I'm going to see what their deal with Europe's like. P.S. It's terrible. If you don't believe me, go and do some reading around it. They've had to have bilateral agreements on everything since about 1973, and it hasn't really worked out for them. They've actually tried to join Europe before, join the European Union, but their electorate actually dismissed it by a small, tiny majority, much smaller than the one we've just had. So they've got really the worst of both worlds. Happy Wednesday. So today and tomorrow I am at home, hopefully doing a bit of work for Adam and Tom if everything comes together, and finishing some vlogs because I'm a bit late and a bit overdue, so apologies. And also I hope to pop into the gardens at some point, but it's cue the music at the moment, which means the gardens close early for the concerts in the evening. It's very strange weather at the moment. It's really muggy and quite warm, slightly confusing. Anyway, wedding update. We met with the caterers on Friday and we discussed a few things, came to some agreements. It's obviously constantly moving, but yeah, feeling more positive about that bit now. Video bits are nearly sorted for the wedding. Photography's obviously done. DJ is our next thing we need to sort out. So hoping to do some of that before we go on holiday.
Oh, let's get somewhere really nice for a drink.
Always end up in Claridge's.
Sweet treat.
It's very dark and it is 10 to 11.
Oh, it's quite late.
It is, but that's what happens when you go drinking at Claridge's, because there's nowhere else to drink. A burger in Claridge's, you see, that's truly multi-something.
You kind of ticked all the boxes.
Hello from deepest Teddington, Strawberry Hill, Fulwell area. I am on my way to the AGM. Shouldn't take too long, and I've just popped into a cricket shop on the way because I'm playing cricket on Saturday in our England versus South Africa battle. Should be interesting. I haven't played cricket for a couple of decades, and I went for a bit of a warm-up in the garden earlier to practice my bowling, and it turns out that yes, I'm very stiff. I guess I already knew that, but it's good to get a feel for my accuracy at least. Anyway, so I'm imagining that being one of the older people there and being one of the least fit people there, it could be a challenge. We're really hoping it's not more than 25 overs per side, and frankly that seems like a lot. Why can't we play T20 like, you know, normal people? Anyway, so I'm quite looking forward to it if the weather's decent though. Although my expectation of my ability and the reality of it are probably still very far apart. Just got out of the AGM, just heading home. I haven't actually eaten dinner because they had sandwiches and things, but not a lot, and there was quite a few people, so. Well, that's not fair. They had plenty. There was quite a few people who were hungry. So I'm not going to gush too much, but it's a great organisation. It really is. Like, there's so many companies I've been involved with that could learn a thing or two about people and culture from RHP. That's all I'll say. And I'm now officially reappointed to the board for another 3 years, so I'm very happy indeed. Let's have a complete change of tack here. One thing I don't talk about much on these vlogs, strangely I might add, is music, and that's something that I have a very deep-seated passion for and have done since I was about 14 and got my first radio, really. And you can see how that led into the industries I ended up in. But I have a reasonably broad music taste. It's very much focused on sort of house and drum and bass and stuff, but I earlier today decided to get back into a bit of pop punk. Now that is something that I did really enjoy actually around sort of early 2000s to early mid 2000s. It doesn't make sense musically, it's nothing like what the rest of the stuff I listen to. I just like the attitude, and I think it's great fun actually. It's not very pretentious. So today I've been listening to Paramore, Newfound Glory, Yellow Card, Fall Out Boy, and it's been great fun. I've really enjoyed it. I feel half my age again. It's a mild Blink-182 reference there. Yeah, it's been really good. Re-explore your musical youth now and again. It's very invigorating. I haven't mentioned that we have a new Prime Minister. That's reasonably important. Theresa May is now the Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, so that's exciting in a way. It's good that we have a woman in charge, I think. Helps mitigate the slight boys' club that goes on in Parliament. Politically, I'm not overjoyed, but you know, it remains to be seen what will actually happen, so I'll reserve judgment. The thing that's strange is, as David Cameron have obviously been Prime Minister for the last 6 years, whenever they refer to David Cameron, they don't usually say Mr. Cameron, they usually say the Prime Minister. But all today they've been referring to Mrs. May as much as they did Mrs. Thatcher, and not the Prime Minister. So I hope they'll get over that in time. But it calls to mind something that David Cameron said when the first day in the job, where he turned on the news that evening and he heard a report that started with the Prime Minister today, blah blah blah, and his first instinct, having been leader of the opposition for quite a while at that point, was, oh god, what's the clown gone and done now? And then he realised he was the Prime Minister. Anyway, he can now go back to the previous viewpoint, as it were, and have the oh dear, what have they done now attitude. But that's always stuck with me. I think that's quite amusing. Evening, it's Friday and I'm back in queue. It took me 2.5 hours to get home. I'm not very impressed, but today's been generally a very bad day for humanity, and my insignificant problems really do pale by comparison. So I'm getting over that, and I'm getting over the fact that what we thought we were going to cook for dinner was actually, had gone off before its best before date, and now I'm doing a last minute shop dash to buy some more food. I'm hoping next week's going to be better. So I hope you will join me for that, because it starts tomorrow morning with some cricket, which I'm not anticipating being good at, but could be some fun anyway. And then some quite intriguing planning with Steve on Sunday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.